Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to do my October Dip With Me Inspirational Mani, and I will post the picture here for you so you can see what that is. The first color that I'm doing is Apple Pie from Hematite Dip Co. And as you can see, I'm using greens in this inspiration pick. They used orange, but I like to switch it up a bit, and I definitely wanted to put some glitter in there. So this is why I am doing apple pie on my thumb and my pinky. So this is just the first application of that going onto my thumb. And these two colors, apple pie and basswood, which you'll see in a little bit here, are from the Unbelievable collection that Hematite released back in September. And for any purchase on Hematite Dip Co's website, you can use code Lauren15 to save 15%. That is my ambassador code to use. And here I am just putting that color on my pinky as well. And I really enjoyed creating this mani because I like that ombre look, which I do on my middle three fingers, which you'll see in a little bit here. And as always, you just want to make sure you clean up the cuticles. And I kind of sped this up for you because it's pretty self-explanatory to see. I'm just pouring another layer of apple pie over my thumb, cleaning up everything, and then doing the same thing on my pinky. I apologize for kind of having an irregular posting schedule the past couple of weeks. My daughter has been playing a lot of soccer. Thankfully, it's dying down this week. She had 4 games last week and practice one day. And then she had to sit in for varsity for sectionals on Saturday. Then she had her homecoming dance Saturday night. And then she had a game for her travel team on Sunday. So it is now Tuesday night when I'm doing this mani, and it was the first mani I had done since the Color Palette Challenge one last week. So thank you all for your patience in me getting through that little bit of a crazy week. I appreciate it. All right, so now we are going to get into the pointer finger, the middle finger, and the ring finger. So one color that I have here that is not Hematite Dip Co is Whisper by Ritzy Dips, which is a very pale pink. And that is going to be the base for my kind of like baby boomer green to pink fade. So I'm basically just dipping my ring finger, or actually all my 3 fingers there, into Whisper, which you'll see in a minute. I'm just stirring up that basswood color because I hadn't used it yet. So I'm applying the dip base here, and I just dip right into the jar. I actually have to pour some out because it's kind of full. And you want to make sure you clean up your cuticle lines pretty quickly. And then taking an eyeshadow brush, I believe this one is e.l.f. You want to take whatever color you're using, in this case mine is that green color, Basswood, and press it into the tip of whatever finger you're working on. This creates like that ombre fade from the green to the pink. So that's my first coverage on the index finger. Now I go ahead and repeat the same process on my middle finger, putting that nice layer of Whisper down and cleaning up everything to make sure it's nice and tight around the cuticle line. And then taking that brush and scrubbing in Basswood. So what this does, it basically dyes that base color, so in this case Whisper, to like get the pigment into it from the other color. And you want to make sure that you have a clean eyeshadow brush. I got this on Amazon, I believe. I'll link it down below if I remember. I think it was like a couple of dollars, or it was a few dollars for a pack of 2. You want to make sure the brush is clean because you don't want to get like an older glitter that you might have used for another ombre, whenever that was, onto this ombre. So I have a color switch, which I don't believe I show in this video, but I will also link that down below. It's really for makeup, but because this is a makeup brush, it does work. with these types of manis. So you want to make sure that everything is cleaned off on that eyeshadow brush before you go in and start this. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the other parts of this mani in sped up motion and let you watch that. And then we'll be back after I do my filing and my buffing. This is how we're looking after filing and buffing everything, making it nice and smooth. Now I have a dotting tool, which is dual-sided, and some black acrylic craft paint. What I'm doing now is drawing a spider web on the corner of my middle finger. So to do this, the best way I found is to do the center part of it first, and then kind of branch out from there on either side to the right and the left, which you see me doing here. Kind of like an arrow, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. And then I realized I needed some more lines on the other sides of the ones that I just created. So you'll see me here kind of make another thin line to the opposite side of the one that I just finished. And I go back and I do one along the bottom by my cuticle line as well, going out. So this creates the structure for the spider web shape. I kind of just go back in here and elongate some of these first lines that I added because I realized I needed some more space to work with. And I had more nail to use, so why not? All right, and I'm just darkening everything up. And the really nice thing about acrylic paint is it dries really fast on nails, which if you make a mistake, you can just clean it up with alcohol because believe me, I'll tell you what I did in a minute here. So now the next step is just kind of connecting the web, making like little U-shaped lines, I guess is the best way to describe it, going across each of those straight lines that you made. So I do that all the way up the web here. And my plan was on my, what finger am I working on? This is my middle finger. On my ring finger to do a hand-painted spider. However, I cut that totally out because I was not able to get that right. I think if I had to guess, I probably tried 8 times and I just could not get the spider to look right. So that's how I know that this will wipe away with alcohol and a lint-free wipe, because I learned my lesson. So I'm just continuing here with the spider web. And what I actually end up doing on my ring finger, which I thought I recorded, but I didn't, was finding a little black spider sticker that I had from, I think, my last Ritzy Dips subscription box. And I just stuck that onto my ring finger. But you'll see that here after I'm done with the spider web. I'm just connecting everything, looking at it from a couple of different angles to see if I need to add anything else or darken anything, make some lines a little bit longer. I really did like the way that the spider web came out. I thought it came out pretty nicely. And if you use gel, what I noticed that they did in the picture was they kind of did the matte and then they did the gel over it. So it kind of gave the spider web like a little bit of a shiny finish. But unfortunately, I can't use gel, so I wasn't able to do that. And then when I'm all satisfied with everything, making sure everything is nice and darkened, I move on to the ring finger, which, like I said, I didn't do. And here is the big matte top coat from Sally Hansen I'll be using as my top coat. And there's my little tiny spider. First, I actually decided to do a regular swipe over of my normal dip top because I wanted to have like a base instead of going right in with the matte. So I'm using my 915 Aesthetics top coat just to do that first layer, floating it over each nail. And to adhere that little spider a little bit better, I did use my sticky base coat from Maniology just to have a better layer for it to adhere to. And then I just let this dry for another 20 to 25 seconds, if that. And then when that is all dry, oh, here I am, I forgot. I'm kind of like pressing this back down just to make sure that it's sticking and not coming up. And once that is all dry, I go in now with my Sally Hansen Big Matte Top Coat. This is my first time using this, and I think it worked really, really well. You'll see here, once I get the first layer on, how fast it starts to dry and turn matte. This is also my first time using matte over like a glitter or like a fine shimmery glitter. I always usually do glossy when I do glitter. But I wanted to keep everything matte, as that is how the inspirational pick was all matte. And I apologize, I cannot give credit because I'm not sure who did that picture on Pinterest. That's where I found it. Normally I give credit to whoever it is that I get the mani from, but there was no name on this picture, unfortunately. So whoever it was, if you see this, you did a beautiful mani. And again, just going right over the spider with that matte coat. So I don't know if you can tell here in the video, but you can kind of see like the index finger is changing, the thumb is changing to that matte finish. And the middle finger actually changed pretty fast. Now I'm going in with my Apple Bourbon Cuticle Oil from Grimes Ridge, one of my favorite cuticle oils. If you've been here a while, you know that. Hydrating up everything. And I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I definitely enjoyed creating it for you. It probably took me a lot longer than it should have just because I did trip up with that spider nail, but I fixed it, no problem. I found an alternative, which is always a good thing. And I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching and have a lovely day.